Hello, everyone. It's Veronica Bartolini with Codebreaker Real Talk. And today I have Miles Batson with me. Yes, finally.
A,
Miles,
A,
welcome. I'm so excited for our show.
AKA Miles Moonbases.
Miles Moonbases. Yeah, I like all your videos that you put out there, and I'm very grateful that you send them to me. And even before you started making the videos, I'm like, let's get together. Let's do a show or something. And finally we're here.
Yeah,
Almost 2022.
I've been wanting to get together with you for a long time. I felt the connection like before we even started doing stuff. And yeah, so I've been going over these before we got started. I've been going over the journals. I had one of them stolen, and the one that had like really important information in it, I went to the store, I jotted down car notes in it also. So, at the time I didn't realize what I had. I was still like, this was about 2 years ago. So I jotted car notes down. I took it to go get an auto part, had it in the car, and then between the two stores that I stopped to and home, it disappeared. And I went back to the store less than 10 minutes. I went back to both stores and it was gone completely. And I don't think it was a coincidence because it had important information in it. And but I've been going over my journals from the past 2 years trying to find the institution stuff and see if maybe any of them you resonate with, or maybe you can tell me something.
Yeah, I have some memories too of being in the institutions. Some of them were like a light blue in color. And now that one, I was speaking to my friend Iris about this one a while back, where I have this constant dream, and it's actually real. Okay, it's a flashback memory. I'm at a gas station. I'm probably like 9, 10 years old, and I'm being taken to the building next door, and it has the light blue um, color. And then there's these things and masks, and it's actually the clowns. Okay. And they have knives, and this stuff is real. So this is not for this is not for children, people. This is for adults only. And so, they're slaying at us. And that's one of the institutes, and that has to do with Circus in Las Vegas. And this is correlation information that I have between my friend Iris and I, which hopefully one day she'll go public, but not yet. And then there are other flashbacks that I have that I am inside the facilities where there's different rooms, and they're all white, and we are in white tops and bottoms. And sometimes they're dirty. Sometimes, they don't clean us, they don't feed us, they starve us. That is where most of the torture took place. There are those facilities that I have remote viewed and that I remember are in Saturn, Mars, and the moon. And there are plenty here as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. And you mentioned I was going to mark the one. But then I was thinking to myself, I had one where people were wearing masks and they were cutting people. Yes. But I was going to mark it, but then I was like, this sounds too crazy, and I skipped past it. But I'm trying to look to see where it is. So if you see me looking down, I'm just going over the journals. But I did come across one that was very similar to that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they take children all the time. I mean, people are like, hey, let's go stay at the circus, or even the pyramid. I've stayed at the pyramid before, the one that's a pyramid, and those are all connected. And of course, if people listen to John Lear, years ago, I've listened to him, and it has a connection to Sandia. And I've actually have memories of being in Sandia. And that is a railway that is connected throughout the whole world, and it even goes off planet. Same thing with the Stargate, what I call Stargate looking project that has to do with Looking Glass. And it's our technology, back in the day when we were mermaids, they took that, the mirrors, Looking Glass mirror, the communication, the Stargates, it's all from, we've been everything and nothing. As you know, we've been dragons, we've been mermaids, we've been all kinds of things because we are star people, right? We are the crystal children. We can transform to anything, and that's why our bloodline is so important. You know, and this whole thing with the Jabberwoony, the what I call the baby Jabberwocky is going on is or the acupuncture that's going on, like we spoke before. They want to take our God genes away. They want to stop the telepathy. They want us to be like robots. And, you know, they say that 80% of the population is gonna go, you know, just because just the other day I went to go wash and it was the guy that's supposedly in office, you know, saying the V word, every other sentence, you got to get this. And now you got to get the one that starts with the B as in Bravo. And now you got to, every other sentence with the V, you got to get this. It's like, no wonder people are so mind controlled, you know, and you can tell, we were talking about that, Miles, you can tell the difference now, you know, they're being sedated.
It's I don't like going out in public. I go out to get my groceries and that's it. And when you go out there, you can feel that it's shells of people. They're shells. And then if you try to have a conversation or if you say anything out of the norm, they look like their brain is malfunctioning. They get weird. They get really weird, and you can see the circuit malfunctioning. And a lot of people say that after people get that, you know, the nanotech, I've done videos, but with YouTube, I got to watch what I do, watch what I say. I try to do one on what the stuff that starts with a G that's in it, you know, and, you know, they made all kinds of movies about the black goo, but I put factual based stuff. It was all factual. And they took it down for medical misinformation. And I showed one article saying that they might experiment with nanotechnology in the you know what, that they were going to experiment with it, that China was. It was an article. It was an article.
We already know that they are. I'm on Telegram. You can always share anything you want on Telegram. It's just my name and Codebreaker Real Talk.
Oh yeah. I like Telegram.
Whatever there, and hopefully YouTube will catch on because I mean, people are going to other platforms.
Rumble is very good. Somebody turned me on to Rumble, and they're like YouTube used to be. They have all the underground stuff, the stuff you can't talk about on YouTube. They got everything on there, but it's hard because I've built up 2 years trying to build this foundation and start all over. It's a bit much, and they know you. They know they have you there. They know they have you.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's you know what, that's the whole adventure is that they can't stop us, right? Can't stop us.
Right. Now I'm looking at one of these. I tried reaching out to Tony a few years ago, and because he had said
Tony Rodriguez.
Yes, and because I was talking to my friend, a guy that I met, Sway, there over at the Sway channel, and I became good friends with him from a contactee group that I'm in. It's like my home group, you know. AA you have your home group. It's like my home group for ET contact. And I met him over there. I've known him for about 2 years, and I was telling him my dreams, and he's the one that said to me, "It sounds like 20 and back." And that's when he sent me Tony's story, and what he was saying. A lot of what he was saying was exactly what I was telling my friend. And the same time that this happened, I was going to the dentist, right? My dentist is right up the street. I'm here in Annapolis, Maryland, where the Navy is, the Naval Academy. You have Naval Research Lab, NSA, Northrop and Grumman, all that shit. I mean, it's, you know, and people don't realize what's going on here. And
there's an opening there that leads to Guantanamo Bay.
Yes. I believe on Google, I believe I found an entire underground base in the bay. And the bay, our bay right here, the Bay Bridge, and the Annapolis Naval Academy, the bay leads right to Norfolk Naval Base. Right to Norfolk Naval Base. And the underground facility I found isn't far from the bridge that crosses from Virginia into Maryland. And that bridge it was built for naval personnel. It's a really, really long bridge. It's a few miles long and it goes
Yeah,
underwater
it has to
also.
do with the Manhattan Project, and then you're all there. What you're talking about also is connected to the base in Florida, where a lot of these wannabe white hats are currently working out of.
Wow. Yeah, without saying too much, I have, one of my grandparents was special forces, and he was the first division when they first created it. I forgot what year it was, but he doesn't talk. I told him about my contact that I had in 07. That was what got me going. But at the time I was involved in criminal stuff. So I had no phone. Well, I had a phone, but I didn't use the internet, no Facebook, no nothing, no computer or anything. So 07, I was in Northern Virginia, a rural part of Northern Virginia, and I was taking a back road, leaving a friend's house, and these are country back roads in the not in the mountains, but kind of in the mountains. And it took about 10 minutes to get home. And my friend's house was next door to my grandparents, and we were over there. And the mother of my oldest child, she was pregnant at the time. So there was no substance abuse involved, because that's usually the first thing that people try to throw at you is the substance abuse. And so we left. It normally took like less than 10 minutes on back roads. We left around 12:30, somewhere around that time. I'm driving. I see in the rear view mirror this bright orange light. I can't describe it because I've never seen anything like it before. It was just this orange, I don't know if you want to say glow or the whole area. It just looked out of place. And at the time I wasn't into UFOs, or I didn't really, it's not that I wasn't into it. I just was focused on other things. So I look in the rearview mirror and I said to myself, I said to her, I said, what the hell is that? And she's like, oh, nothing, whatever. She's an atheist. So I turned my head around like this. Wait, I think I turned it this way. I turned this way to get a better look. I see it in the rear, in the rear view mirror up to the top. I look, turn around, and as soon as I turn around, bam, next thing I know, phasing back in. Everything's phasing back in, and I've done hallucinogens. So, I've never had a bad trip or anything like that. But the closest thing I can describe it to is when you're phasing back in. It was phasing. Everything was phasing. And I'm not sure if there was the hum or not. I haven't had regression. Everything I'm telling you now.
That's when they took you.
Yes. And I phased back in and I looked over at her, and she was a tough country broad, and I look over at her and she has this look of, it looked like confusion, fear, like, everything mixed together. I'd never seen that look on her face before. And it's blank. And she's like, what just happened? And, if you've done hallucinogens and stuff before, it's not really much of a shock. You just know something strange happened. But growing up, I had missing time all throughout my life. I just didn't know what missing time was, never heard of it. So she says, what just happened? I say, I don't know. I look down at the clock. It's 3:30 a.m. Now, the road we were driving on, they all dead end. One dead ends at less than 10 minutes. The other dead ends about 20 minutes. And then there's windy back roads. So 3 hours missing time for a 10-minute trip. There's nothing that you can say that would make me think otherwise, because we would have wrecked. We would have wrecked or ended up in a ditch somewhere.
Miles, I've been wanting to tell you for a long time now that you were used in one of the Men in Black. I was also a Man in Black, but I'm female, obviously, and I have memories of them, giving me address. We're taking off at an airport, and it's a short dude with like a tail, one of those tuxedo tail duck ones, and he's balding. He has like a little bit of black hair, and he gives me the pen. And then he says, here you go, go on to your journey. So I've been wanting to tell you that you were also part of that.
I know, yeah, because I was kind of curious when you had said that in the message. It's like I keep having all these dreams. I feel more comfortable when I'm asleep, to be honest with you. I feel more in touch with reality when I'm sleeping. And then when I'm awake, I'm like, fuck, I'm like, okay, gotta do this for a little while. But sometimes when I go back and I have these recollections that they're bad, and usually I'm in bad places when I do have these recollections, but I know everybody. That's why I tell people the difference between, I call it a third eye dream state, because they're not dreams. And a dream, you don't have control of what's happening. In these states, I have full memory of the people, the places, the relationships, full memory like I have here. And then I wake up and write it down as quick as I can. But what's been bothering me my entire life is it's right there, and I can't get it. It's like right there, and something keeps telling me that you're the closest person that's going to be able to help me with some of this.
You will. You'll start getting more memories and more answers. You will.
I don't feel in touch with Earth. I don't think these places are Earth-based. No, I don't feel like it. And these
sorry, do you get like bruises and scratches like we've talked before? Because they do take us physically. Sometimes we go ourselves physically, and then when they take us, and they only have like 15 minutes to put us back to our environment, into our bed,
yeah,
because of the time loop, the quantum physics that's involved, and and not damaging, we'll say, quote unquote, like our future or whatever. Even though I tell everyone that, even when I do readings for people or whatever, I tell them, you're in charge of changing your future. I personally am not a believer in destiny. I feel that we make our future, and we can change timelines. And I tell people, you can't.
It's not easy to do.
Right, you can't in the past. You gotta take care of that. Let that crap go, but you got to stay in the present, because this present moment is where we are, where the yes from the universe or our mind is, yes, we're going to do this. And that also is for the future. So, I mean, yeah, there are ways of changing, like in the Marvel movie, when I saw it the first time, when it came out with, because I identify myself as the Hulk, because I have that altar. I told my kids, as soon as I saw that one, the end game, I think it was, or yeah, when they did the time travel thing, and I said, Migos, I told you time travel is real. And of course they laughed, but it is real.
I think that that video I uploaded, I don't know if you got a chance to look at it. It's only a few minutes. The James Webb Telescope. I mean, that new thing that's replacing the Hubble. I don't think that's what they're saying it is. I think that is a communication device for other off planet and other universe. It's a communication device.
Yeah, it's for the new AI that is coming up for the Neuralink with the Elon Musk crap that's happening. Yep.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, and it's gonna happen quick.
But we star beings, crystal children, can actually mess with the AI. We can actually program it. We were programmers in this SSP.
you know something.
Words, man. Got nothing to worry about.
When I was growing up, they put me in special ed in 3rd grade, and it was weird because the special ed was different back in the 90s, and everybody that I was in school with, they all were very strange, and some of them were super intelligent, and some of them did not they did not even look like they were 9, 10, 12 years old. They didn't look like it, and they were like geniuses now that I'm looking back on it. And the other part of us, you had the really advanced nerdy people, and then you had the emotional people like myself, where we couldn't control our rage. They would restrain us and use pressure points. And then they in elementary school, it was called the booth. And if you had an episode, this was elementary school, if you had an episode, they would restrain you and use pressure points. Now, why are grown men and women having to use military enforcement training strategies to restrain a child? That doesn't make any sense. I think your audio might be muted.
Right. It's because we were super soldiers. Yeah.
And now that I'm getting all this information, now things are starting to make sense. And to this day, I have a rage problem, and I have to tell people, whoever I'm with, like I'm married now, but in the past I had to warn whoever I was with. I'm like, when I get upset, I don't get upset like a regular person. It's like a switch. And when you turn it on, I can't control it. And I do things that I later, regret.
It's the same thing with me and my family, my children, they already know. Like, I have to either have a protein bar with me. I start exploding. I start, turning things off. The car won't work or something when I'm enraged, and I won't stop. And
yes, weird things happen. Stop working.
Yeah, and to me, they already know, like, I'll be their protector. If anybody tries to mess with my kids or my family or my friends when I'm with them, it's like they're not going home, because they don't.
Yeah,
just don't mess with people like us. You don't mess with our bloodline. You don't. It's enough.
I gotten where I live, I live in an all Hispanic. It's pretty much projects, and like I'm the only white dude here, but the wife and the kid, that they made friends with everybody here. But you know how it can get when everybody's drinking and partying. And there has been some people that have done things, attempted to do things to them, and I knew what they were doing before she knew. So I ended up having to get in a few fights here, but there was like 20, 30 people, and I went out there and did what I had to do. They don't mess with me really, but
are you like me also? Like, I could be asleep and then I get up, I'm like, holy F, I gotta call my daughter, I gotta call this person, or even somebody that I haven't talked to, like from high school. And I'm like, oh, hey,
yes,
you're on Messenger. Hey, I gotta tell you, I gotta warn you.
Yeah, they think you're crazy. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, yeah. That's when their head really spins, when you tell them, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then it happens, and they're like, how did you know that? I always get that. How did you know that? Then that's when you start helping the person awake. And I'm realizing all of my best friends growing up, they are all either awake or they are in the waking process. Every person that I was really close with.
And then we're the ultra awakened, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I go ahead. Later on I want to talk about the moon stuff that you record a bunch of stuff, and there's a thing where they take our memory, they try to take our memory through the moon, through the dark side of the moon. That's why they don't show it, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell people, this is just me though. When we leave this plane of existence, when you're ready to go home, don't follow the white light. That's just me though. It's like rage against that white light, because that's the fake one that they have, and then they'll take you to use your battery that way and put you in a little flash drive, and it's like, no. That's why we have to stay awake and not take the acupuncture thing that they're offering, because they're trying to get rid of
like that one, acupuncture. I like that one.
Yeah, trying to get the God gene out. That way you don't have the telepathy with your higher self. They want,
that's what they're preventing. Yes, yeah. They don't want. I try to explain it to people like this. Once they give you the right now, I hear a lot of people saying that we are getting ready to evolve to the 5D and all this other stuff. I don't know how much truth there is behind that, but I know that that I know that people are evolving, and people with gifts are getting stronger. And I believe that this whole operation that's being ran is to stop that, because I explain it to people like this: if you had a bunch of psychic people running around, they wouldn't be able to control everything, you know? And then you'd have some people that would use it for bad. So, I mean, I do understand, but at the same time, it's wrong, because that's not what's supposed to be happening. My dad told me the other day, he said, you know, he follows Billy Myers stuff. I don't agree with everything, but you know, I agree with some of it. But my dad agreed with me the other day that this is a prison planet. And I absolutely think that there's not, I don't think there's not one person here that is completely happy. Even the people that have everything, that I guarantee you there's something deep down that is wrong with them. Nobody is 100% happy.
Right. Right. It's because, you know, they're listening too much to those darn memes and reading stuff that goes into their subconscious that is not for their highest good, you know. And I feel also that the shamanic resonance and also this ascension thing is also a psyop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, this whole thing about this guy named Sala, I don't remember what his first name is. I think Michael Salas or something. He was talking about how, oh, the bad ETs or the elite, the cabal, they're going to escape through Antarctica. Yeah, right. I told people, do you know what Antarctica is? That's the highest sex human trafficking tunnel you could ever think of. Who do you
Yeah.
think is there? Oh, and then they say, oh, they're taking gifts to the ETs that are there, the 13 skulls or whatever that I remote viewed. And I'm like, you're gonna believe that too. You're gonna
Why
believe.
do you think why do you think there's a global treaty for that? That's why there's a global treaty. That's why it's neutral ground, because it is what it is. You know,
And
it's
then
neutral.
sorry, the Federation, you know, oh, the Galactic Federation is going to help us. No, they're just letting shit happen because of all these other treaties that they have with other ET races and the you know, military here. And it's a bunch of bull crap. You know, you got to be very, very careful who you listen to. That's why I
Yeah,
always say, I don't want to listen to nobody no more, because it's like, oh, I see bullshit there. I see that smells over there. You know what I mean? Just go within, I tell people. Write it down,
yeah.
like my friend says.
And you get these people on there that, you know, there's so many government planted trolls, and then you have people that start listening and believing that, because when somebody starts getting pointed at, when you're the person getting pointed at, talk shit about, people naturally join in. So when you get one person, all it takes is one of them, and then they set off a whole motion, and next thing you know, you're discredited, you're called crazy. And they do it in the UFO and contactee community as
Well,
well.
yeah, they did it to me too. So beware. That's what we were talking about. It's like they'll come and infiltrate, right? They'll pretend to help you and be your friend, and oh, I can trade this and that. Yeah, and then they get my name or your name attached to their group or name, and then it's like, and then they turn their back on you. So it's like, okay, what, that wasn't supposed to happen. And we have to be, because we're so loving. Yes, we got our swords, we got our freaking boundaries and everything up, but it's like we usually tend to believe that people are good. Well, guess what? Now I'm gonna have to believe that I have to keep my guard up. It's, I can't just let anybody in anymore. Miles, does that happen to you since you were a kid?
Well,
Right?
unfortunately, I grew up. They started institutionalizing me at a young age. It was for, my family. My father specifically says that it made no sense that they incarcerated me for something very, very, very petty, and then that set the chain reaction for a lifetime of it. And I just now got out of it. I had to move out of the state, and I'm up here in Maryland now. The DMV area is DC, Maryland, Virginia. It's like, one big cluster. And yeah, my whole life I've been institutionalized, but the first starting at 13. So I've had the guard thing my whole life, but it's also felt kind of like I've like when I got locked up, it wasn't like a big shock. It kind of almost felt, I don't know, like you know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like it was the first time. It was, you know, I had a natural adjustment to it. So, you know, it's, you know, and I've written down a lot of these institutions. Hopefully, maybe you might recall some of them.
Yeah, let me
Um,
go ahead and I'm listening. I'm gonna close my window. There's a lot of noise here, but go ahead.
yeah. Let me see. I marked some of these. Um, the one that disappeared, the one that disappeared, the one that was in the journal that disappeared, I remember it very clearly. It was a bus. It was a bus, and we had jumpers on. I don't remember what color they were. I want to say like orange or white, orange, white, or green. It was one of those, one of the classic colors. And
Yeah,
being that
I can tell you about that.
being that I've spent most of my life incarcerated, I am very knowledgeable about the inside. And I can tell you that all of these places that I've been to in the third eye dream state, all of these places are nothing that are here on earth or that are known to the public. They felt off world. And the one I was at, the one that where the journal went missing, I was on a bus and I get confused. I'll get this reality confused with the one that I'm visiting. So sometimes I was on the bus and I was talking about drugs for some reason. And I was talking to the black guy that was sitting next to me, and he laughed. You know, I said something about a particular substance, and he laughed, and he goes, there ain't none of that where we're going. And then I look at him and then realize he's in a jumper. Then I realize I'm in one. And then I look around, I'm on a bus, right? I'm on a bus and I look over and there's a guard next to me. And then I look up front at the driver. There's no driver. The bus is self-driving, right? And the guard had us, she took a unscheduled pit stop to do something. She wasn't supposed to stop, and she stopped. She was nice, and then got back on. That was one. The other one I went to, it was a shorter bus. This was a more like a yellow school bus, but it was a military short bus. And we pulled up to this place. It had barbed wire around it, and the corner of the building, there was a corner, and then it had barbed wire, and it was old stone. It was old stone, and it had a corner, and then there was some kind of door there, and the windows were foggy on the bus, and I could see outside the moon. I saw the moon, but it looked different. It didn't look like it does here. And that was a heavy indicator. I tend to look at the moon a lot if I'm outdoors at the place.
Yeah, I can tell you about that.
So you know about that one.
Yeah, in 2017, I have this huge, it's kind of long, this memory where I have a glass pad and there's a man next to me. He's like really tall, grayish hair, white top, and then like gray pants. Me, I'm wearing a white top and black pants. Okay. I'm in an office and I have my glass pad, and then I push the button, whatever button on the glass thing. I just go like that with my finger, and this orange light line goes from the southern, like the Mexico, all the way up past Canada. And then on the other side, it's China, and it goes and it's red and it's all the way to Britain, to England. And I say, holy F, I told my friend, I said, what did I do? What happened? What's going to happen? Is this like a nuclear war? What's going on? You know, and then there's a knock on the door and I see through, and there's men in black chasing, they're chasing, getting ready to infiltrate me. And then I see my kids are behind me, but they're okay. They're in an atrium, see-through glass atrium being taken care of. So me and the other gentleman, we fly, and then we end up underground. There is like a cement table, okay? And there is the stone that you talk about there. There's
Yeah.
these yellow school buses driving by. One of them stops. It's a female that I know from when I used to go to dialectical behavioral therapy. I'm not gonna say her name. She's in an orange jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Tells me, Vero, are you gonna come back for us? And I said, F yes, I'm gonna come back for you guys. Just go for now.
Yeah.
And then after that is the flood that I see happening. And then after that is where we take off in the huge two-tier spaceship. And that's when I deploy I hit the red button, and then Clinton and all those others that are catatonic, just I send them away. But and then during this time we feed the people that we have saved. So anyway, this is very important to me because I have been waiting to see who the hell was I talking to, because they put screen memories. I don't think it was my friend from back in the department there.
I see people from in this state. I wonder if there are people. I'll see people from freaking 20, 30 years ago that like I wasn't friends with them. Like I went to school with them, but I never talked to them. I'll see random people that I never in a million years would even remember or think of. And I see these people and I wonder, are the same people used in other dimensions? And do we have contact with the same people in every reality? Are the characters similar?
I think they could be our star family as well.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that one out.
And also remember, like they'll put people that we hate or that we don't like. I shouldn't say hate, but that have hurt us or something in the past as screen memory people. What if that person actually was you, Miles, saying, "Hey, but are you gonna come get us?" What if it was you? What if seriously? Like I've been thinking about that all the time. I'm like, what the heck happened? Why was I there in my black and white suit with my thing, the glass pad? The guy's still with me, and then there's a school, but it's in the orange jumper. It's like, what the heck? Yes, you were probably taken to either the moon, or I also see that you have had Saturn contact and Jupiter contact as well.
I have a strong connection with Jupiter. I have a strong connection with, and Sirius.
Yeah,
I have I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe that's where your family's from, your galactic family. You never know, because I'm from Andromeda, and remember, we're travelers. Remember that thing you were telling me about earlier? I was watching Travelers one day, and I'm like, holy F! Well, I know what my number is, 1800.
Yeah, it was crazy how accurate that was, and what I wonder is, I asked my friend. I said, "Do you think it might have been you? I don't remember, but are they releasing these movies intentionally to separate the people and see who is what?"
Yes, and remember the Marvel and the X-Men, those they took from us. Like me, I identify as Wolverine. I identify as the Hulk. I identify as other things in other movies, and I feel it has to do with our lineage, and they're also wanting to see how wise our children are, or our grandkids. It's like,
yeah, mine are all hybrid. Yeah,
and we got to be careful too, like with movies such as Alice in Wonderland, where they go down the rabbit hole. With Netflix too, like how it goes and there's the lines, and then it goes at the end and stuff. So it's like it's a portal they're opening for your mind, and inside that there's another wormhole or portal going down the rabbit hole, especially the spaceship movies. Like I had never seen Battlestar Galactica, the original one with James Olmos, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds, I was watching it last week. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so familiar. Like I've been in space for so many years, more than 20 years, that 20 and back crap is just something that CG made up, and he stole your memories. And you got to be careful, Miles, because like I said, there's a lot of people that are just waiting for the new blue bloods to come out and say, yeah, I was using the super soldier program. You got to be careful who you go and talk to, because they'll want to take your memories, you know,
You're the only person I've talked to. I attempted to talk to James a while back, and I'm not talking bad about him, but I just didn't, I didn't get a good vibe. He asked me for, I tried explaining it to him, because at this point I'm just trying to find out if anybody can put something with what I got here. I mean, everything I have written here, these aren't like little jots. These are like full memory things written down. Right now, I got 3 journals sitting in front of me. I'm having to
Same
sift
here.
through all of it.
Yeah, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's why I want to, put it out there to people. I'm going to activate your memories. I'm going to, just with my voice, just with you talking to me, I have things written down as well and memorized that I have seen. And I'm like, I'm still trying to piece everything together. But even when I started first on YouTube, it's like, I don't have all the answers, guys. I'm just going to be here telling you all what I know, what I've experienced.
I've been a little shaky since we started talking, and I'm not nervous. I don't know why. It just, since we started talking, I'm a little shaky for some reason.
The activation, the positive,
Yeah.
I only want good for you, but remember, there's things that are going to come up, and they're not always good, but it will make sense at the end. Before you leave this earth, it'll all make sense.
Now the bus, I've been on a lot of buses. When you were just talking about the one, I don't know where and what journal it's in, but most of the memories I have, if I go back here, most of the important ones I have memorized. But there was one time I was on a bus, and we were younger, maybe like teens, maybe early 20s, somewhere around there, between 18 and maybe 21, somewhere around there. And there was a black kid, there was me, there was a Spanish girl, and then I believe there was a white girl. And we were all in I think it was a shorter, I can't remember if it was a shorter bus or a longer bus. I want to say a shorter bus. And we were dropping this kid off. We were dropping him off somewhere, and the girls were crying. They were crying because he was leaving. And I said to him, I'm like, are you sure are you sure you want to do this? He said, what are you talking about? He's like, I've wanted to do this, basically my whole life. He's like, I get to go deal with the monsters, or I forgot what word he used. And the girls were all upset. And I knew him, and I asked him, I'm like, you sure you want to do this? He said, yes. We pulled into like a, looked like an airport, but we drove back, and it was like a parking lot, but then there was it went off to the left, and there was a cement wall, but there was like a hidden door built into this wall that looked like, it was supposed to look like a regular, wall or hill, and that opened, and then the bus drove in, and it was like a it split the road. There was a cemented road inside once this door opened, and it went this way. It forked. The road went to the left, and it went to the right, and there was a glass area on the corner. It was like, I don't know if it was plexiglass or what, and we pulled the bus in there to drop him off, and in that glass room, there was there was humans mixed, and there was all kinds of different, there was I think there was large creatures, short ones. I think there was a guy with 4 arms, and we dropped the kid off there he was going to some program.
Thank you. That was Max Spears.
So that's an actual.
That's Venus, where we went. Now, when we went to do the project with Max Spears, and Susan Long was there, and so was Frank, and Mark, Susan, and Frank. And another gentleman who's Black, but he has not come out in the community, and I will not say his name. We go through Sepulveda Boulevard. There's a jump room in California. And then from there, we went to Mars. Okay, we got in our black suits. And after that, I don't know what happened, but with you telling me this, now I know, because I have been in Venus before, and what you just described, the way you went down, that was Venus.
Yeah.
So he actually, I mean, there's so many times where I've talked to Max and he tells me, you took over what I had to do here. And I'm like, nah, man, like, don't tell me that, like, because I know I'm not in James Casbout's team. I'm not in Michael Jacobs' team. I'm not in anybody's team. I'm in my own. I'm in my own team, and I stand for justice. And so did Max stand for justice. And what happened? He was offed. And I already named the people.
Yeah.
Even I even had JP on one of my shows that said that he did, that Sarah Adams opened the door for him to kill him. And then like all these other people are like so excited because they're on this, oh, JP has this app and my picture's there and we're in the black masks. We're in the, yeah, you guys are proud of killing off Max Spears. That's ridiculous, but this totally sounds like something, there's a Stargate there in Venus. And it's also
some kind of airport. It looked like some kind of airport.
Yeah.
And there was one of the more recent ones I had, let me see if I can find it. We got on a plane and we got on a plane and I think we were like younger. We got on a plane, there was a few girls and there was a few guys, and we were escorted and we got onto some smaller craft. I don't know if it was a plane, I don't know if I was in a craft, I don't know what, but we transferred onto this whatever it was. It looked like a plane, but there was rooms in it where you could get food and drinks. It had like a common area, and I was excited because I was going to get to see the moon. We were going to go by the moon. And then for some reason we didn't. And I was upset that I didn't get to go, but I was looking out the window. That was one of the more recent ones. And sometimes I get interrupted when I'm in these states. I'll get waken up, but that one with the self-driving bus, I was this close to getting the name. It was a giant, the self-driving bus made a right. And it was a huge, like something out of the movies, like those big, monstrous cement facilities. It was just a big cement place. And it said it was something, sunrise, sun something was the name of the facility. It had like sunset or sunrise in the name of it.
Yeah, remember the sun is a portal to other solar systems. And there's also two suns here, and there's also the Order of the Black Sun, which are mostly Masons and Illuminati and the Men in Black. That's where we had some of our training and being escorted and things like that in the smaller plane. Yeah, I remember it was a very small, first we were in a huge place where there was rooms, there was kitchen, there was food, there's a lady making food there, and then I looked in front of a mirror and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm so young, and then this guy hands me over the dress. You got to do this. That's part of the Sex Kitten program. And that's also part of the Men in Black program.
Lots of women. Very, very oftentimes I'm always with some girl. There's always some girl.
They send people to you, right?
Yeah. There's always somebody. It's funny, all through my life, I'm worried about being alone and all this, that, and the other. And now looking back at it, I'm like, why, I realized that, that was just, I don't know why. When I, as far back as I can remember, I was worried about getting a family, reproducing. That was the only thing on my mind. And growing up, I had problems. I couldn't focus on anything. And my family was trying to teach me things and pass knowledge down. And I had one focus, and that was reproducing. And I couldn't tell anybody because I was like 13 years old,
That's what
15
they did
years
to
old.
us. I mean, for us girls, what was it? Oh, play with a doll. All you're good for is to get married and serve the man, you know, and it's like, and
Yeah.
sex, you know, you got to be good at doing this, and that position. It's like, what? You know,
Yeah.
and that's part of their MK Ultra, their monarch programs, you know, the thing with the butterfly. You know, the anytime you see a butterfly, especially in your astral or in your travels, you know, it's either it could be a new beginning or it could be warning. You know, the black
Okay.
and white, I have those in my memories, and when I see them in movies, when I see the black and white tile, that's when they're gonna emit some kind of MK Ultra idea to the public, right? Or to the
Yeah.
kids. And it's kind of like cognitive dissonance. It's kind of like, okay, well, if this, then that, then and then you'll see that whatever kind of picture that they want to show you to remember a certain thing or a code word, because we were talking about this earlier, we were programmers as well, right? CIA.
Yeah.
And
I've always been good with people,
yeah,
talking to people. And, my family's often said I have the gift of gab.
yeah, I
And
think you should do a podcast like every week, have somebody on there, Miles, just
yeah,
something like, because you are important. You are here. I mean, you have that gift, you know, and it's not just the gift of gab, because you have information, legit information. It's your truth, you know, and you're going
yeah.
to help others. You will.
Here I'm looking at, I always write down the date, the time that I have these things. And here I have one from 11/11/21. And one thing I realized is, I'm a night owl. So oftentimes I take naps during the day. And that is when I have the experiences, not at nighttime. And I noticed when the sun is out, the more the sun is out, the more I'm able to jump. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, me too. Me too. I have a really hard time sometimes sleeping. So as soon as the sun is coming up,
Yeah,
I go to sleep.
me
And I
too.
have the most vivid experiences and memories ever. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Mhm.
And how I know if somebody were to say it's a dream, okay, my grandfather, I don't want to say too much because he's still alive, and I think that he knows more, and I think he just can't say anything. And we fell out of contact when I got a drug habit. He quit talking to me, and I changed my last NDE I had. I've had about 6 or 7 NDEs, but where I've had to be resuscitated. And the last one that I had, I did not come back the same. But prior to this, I did not use computers. I did not understand math. You couldn't pay me to go on a computer. And when I came to, I was living in some dump place, renting a room. The guy was selling me stuff. I did stuff around the house for him, whatever. His grandfather was shit in a bucket in the living room, just awful place. And my wife came from upper middle class family, and for some reason she came over there, and she was loyal, came over there and didn't care about any of that. So and eventually getting married. But when I came back that last time, I looked around me and I left. I immediately got up, left. I moved up here to Maryland with my mother. I stayed with her temporarily to get my shit together, and then I got my own place. And I quit drinking. I was an alcoholic starting at 13. I was a full blown alcoholic. I drank from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. And I was not, I wasn't, I wouldn't call myself a drunk. I was a functioning alcoholic. The only thing that gave it away was the smell. But I don't have I don't have the urge to drink anymore. The taste kind of makes me
Good.
sick.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Now that sounds like your traveler king, you know, because when I had my heart chakra, well, not chakra anymore, because I took the chakras out. I don't believe in that system anymore because that could be
Yeah.
manipulated. So when the light came out of my heart, it's like now looking back, that was in 2017, February, right before my birthday. And I said, now I know that I took myself, you know, because they have us, some of us are on, our original bodies are under Antarctica. We're all clones here. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
took myself, and it's she is me is in a tank, okay, and it's a dragon mermaid, and I rescued myself, my starseed self, my crystal being. Somehow I manipulated coming through the sun portal, and boom. And that's either, you know, people say, well, are you walking? I said, well, I don't know what walking is. All I know is I'm here, me, the real
I
self.
was told I was one. That's what they told me. I was told that I was one. And
Yeah, but you know, I don't want to believe in that stuff because I'm me. And as long as I got me, ain't nothing else matters. Like it's, you know, I
travel.
believe in entities, you know, and gods. I don't have to pray to anything. I know who I am. And that's
Yeah.
what people are scared of right now. And that's what they want to do with this acupuncture thing is like they want to take the God out of us that we are, and they can't. Our bloodline is fierce, and we won't stop. But anyway, do you have any recollection of having a number as a traveler? No.
No, I was trying to think of that when you had mentioned it to me, but that show really resonated with me, and I'm not, you know, if I say something resonates with me, I mean I can, you know, it's close to factual stuff. And what gives me the chills on that show is when they do the conscious transfer, and that with the head, I vaguely remember that happening, but you don't remember after it happens. But I vaguely remember the pain, the unbearable pain. I vaguely remember that. I think it's happened more than once. I could just be, you know, I could just be, you know, I don't know. I could be imagining things, but
You're not. You actually came here for such a time as this, like I always say. It's you, and welcome.
yeah,
You're welcome here.
yeah.
Brother.
I'm trying to think of some other places here. Another facility I was at, um, there was a dirt road. I think I'd escaped from a few of them. And this one, it was like it was out in kind of like the woods. And there was a long dirt road. And then off to the left, the facility was down that dirt road. It was out in the middle of nowhere, but I remember that one. Oh, the one place that resonated with me with Tony. This will blow your mind here. When my friend turned me on to Tony, he knew Tony, and I was kind of nervous and new to everything. So I kept putting off talking to him, and I put it off too long to the point where I couldn't get a hold of him anymore, which from what I understand, a lot of people are going dark, and it's very hard to get a hold of them. So I have a feeling it's something similar to that, because he told me, he was like, he told me without saying too much, you know, he had to take long trips where he would be able to talk on the phone. And so I was going to talk to him while he was on the way, you know, doing whatever he had to do. But we never got in touch. But the things that resonated with me was around the same time I got turned on to him. I'm going to my dentist. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. The dentist. All right. I'm going to the dentist. I see pictures on his wall. Right. This guy used to work for the Navy. He was a dentist for the Navy. How I got a hold of this guy, I have no idea. I don't know how I found this dentist. I don't know. I still don't know how I found him. And he was a dentist for the Navy. I'm sitting in a chair. The guy's got pictures and articles of him in Antarctica hanging on the wall while you're sitting in a chair. It was like 1970s, I believe. He was in there in the 70s and early 80s. This guy was there, and he's got a German last name. He's got a German last name. He's a short guy. And I swear I know this guy, man. I swear I know him, because when I go in there, he treats me different than everybody else. And he knows I got to go. The Novocaine doesn't work. They got to shoot me up.
They have to give me like 6 shots just to
Yep.
clean my teeth.
Yep.
Just to clean them.
Yep. I got to get like, 6, 7, 8 shots. And then I got to sit there for like an hour or two. And then I still feel it.
Yeah, me too.
And he goes and he says to me, like whatever nurse, there'll be like a new nurse helping him or whatever. And he'll be like, oh, you've been through this before. Oh yeah, he's all right. He's a trooper. He's all right. He's been through this before. But he doesn't say it like, I know we've done procedures before, but he says it like it's more than that.
Right. And then the dentist that I've had, because I've had people work on my teeth since I was little. I was born in 71. So I think I was 5 years old the first time, or 4. And they said, oh, you have 7 cavities. I'm like, from where? My mom was meticulous. We had to floss. We had to brush 3 times, 4 times a day, meticulously. Like,
Yeah.
it was her big mind control. She, to this day, she'll floss all the time. And have you brushed your teeth? I'm 50 years old. Yeah, mom, I brushed my teeth, and they gave me, I still have the metal in my teeth, and I get these horrible migraines, and I have to have shots here and here in my jawline and here in my temples, on my forehead, and 34 shots in my head, Botox shots for the pain every 3 freaking months. I have what they call TMJ. They wanted to take this. They say that my jawline is really long. Well, you know why, right? Because of our bloodline. But they wanted to chop off some of it to, get it back. And I'm like, what the hell? This is crazy. And
That doesn't make any
now
sense.
we know it's they transfer the Wi-Fi, right? They transfer the messages to our head to give us some ideas, or to try and make us go nuts. That's why I wear my beanie hat, because it has nickel. And even if I try not to wear it like every day for it not to be a crutch, but there are some days that it's like, because I hear everything and I see everybody's thoughts, and like you, I try and stay home as much as possible, because our light is so big, Miles, that even when you're driving, people will be like looking at you. Even the minute you go outside, eyes on you, right?
Yep. And I'm the quietest person around, and yet everybody freaking, I'm always being stared at, watched, and I don't do. I'm quiet. I'm quiet. I don't talk. And yeah, I always have. But yeah,
that dentist was part of. He's your handler. Same thing with my doctor. I've had my doctor 20 years, and
they are very strange, and they treat me different. Like they're like nice. They're nice to me, but I don't know. They're nice to me when I go there, but it's like a weird nice. You know what I mean? So get this. This is just weird, and this is one of the things I was wanting to talk to Tony about, but I couldn't get a hold of him. So around this time, the dentist is the same time my friend tells me about Tony. All this happens at the same time, which I don't believe in coincidences, right? So I see the things on Antarctica on his wall, and I'd been doing moon stuff for a few months, about a year, and I said to him, so did you see any weird things while you were over there? And he goes, well, what do you mean? What do you mean weird? He goes, I saw ice caverns. Like, you could tell he was quick on it. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, and I gave him that look like, motherfucker, you know what I mean, man. So that happened. I had some work done. And he kept dragging everything out. Instead of going in and getting all the work done and getting the bridge and everything, instead of going in there and doing everything, he kept having me come back. And I know that some of that's a money hustle, that just to get you in there more times. But it was like too much. It was like he was doing little tiny things at a time, and it was just taking fucking forever. And I quit going to him.
Yeah, I quit going to as well, because it was just too much pain. And then school, it was a Pima College, where for because it's expensive, to clean your
Yeah.
teeth. I was on like this sliding fee scale, but it just took 5 times to clean my whole mouth, and it was just too many shots and too many poking, and it was just very painful. Now, what I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel that when we go to the dentist, same thing that when we go to sleep, they download our memories. They want to know what we know. Okay.
This guy isn't this is another strange thing. He's not licensed to do to put you under.
What?
So every time I go in there, I'm awake,
Oh God.
which is fucking weird. So I go in there, right? I see the Antarctica shit, and this is where it starts getting weird. I felt it felt like a grain of sand lump on my gum right here, right? It's still there, and I said something to him about it, and he goes, oh, that's strange. He's like, I wonder what that is, and he goes, he said he wanted to open it up and see what it was. That's what he said. He said he wanted to open it up and see what it was. So at this point, we are talking as if there is something there, right? So I get the work done, but then I come back to get
An implant.
So when I come back and I remember that he said he was going to work on it, I said something to him about it when I come back, and he goes, oh, that's nothing. That's an abscess. I said, that's not what you said last time I was here. He wouldn't touch it.
Right.
All he had to do was cut a slit right there and pull it out. That's all he had to do.
They want you to keep that implant, and then the doctor did the same thing to me when I was getting the shots, the epidural shots from my lower back years ago, because I had to have surgery this year, but I was getting those shots, and they couldn't really put me down. They used the gas, and I can't go to sleep, I feel everything, and he had 2 female doctors there, and he said, do you see that black thing that's circling around her spine? Yeah, that's circling around her spine. And I'm like, what? And then
Damn.
left right before I got up and put my clothes on and everything. Took me 3 months to go see him. And when I said to him, hey, doc, remember you said this and that? He goes, I didn't say anything. Mother effers. That's the black goo octopus that they had us, they had us hooked up in Mars and Moon, wherever they wanted us, Antarctica. So
I have something that sounds like that.
But remind me, because I have to tell you about the white. Hold off on that real quick, Miles, because the ice caverns. Guess what? I have a memory a few months ago. I even told my friend Iris. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was flying, okay, and then I was driving an old truck. Look behind my rear. There was a guy in a black suit, motorcycle guy. And then all of a sudden he waved. He's like, get out of my way, right? And then I go in between a light pole, and then an electrical light pole, a wooden pole and a silver pole.
Yeah.
Go through, and then I have a backpack on, and everybody I see around me is wearing backpacks, and the floor is white. The huge glaciers of ice. It's cold. I'm wearing a jacket and layers and layers and a beanie hat and everything. And then there's a class. There's a class there, and then it's Peter the Insider and Jessica. They're saying, wow, sit down here. And wow, now sudden, I don't see the glaciers anymore. They take us to another, it's like a part of another mansion. I hate those mansions. But the glaciers are, yes, it sounds like Antarctica, what you were explaining earlier. And I feel that this dentist has a strong connection to the elite there, and that they were using you. And yes, he implanted you to keep an eye on you. So
now,
that's just me.
What I did, I knew something was going on, but I was trying to be very careful. And I go in there, this gets even weirder. So I talked to my friend. He told me about the 20 and back, whatever. All this stuff's taking place around the same time. I go back, you know, a few months later, I go back, only this time I don't sit in the chair that I normally sit in. He puts me in a different chair. Normally, I always go to the one on the left. This particular time, he puts me in a completely other chair. So I go in there and I sit in the chair, and he's got his pictures, his memorabilia. He's got his stupid Amazon hat, jungle hat hanging on the wall. And guess where this location was? Wasn't Antarctica, but guess where he was a dentist at? An island.
Hawaii or Brazil?
Diego Garcia.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yes.
Crazy.
My jaw dropped. My jaw dropped because I had just found out about that place.
That's crazy.
I just found out about that place. Like I was still learning. And when I watched Tony talking, my fucking jaw dropped. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, that's the fucking place right there, man.
Yep. He's a handler for you. So
Antarctica. Oh, they're always texting me and asking me when I'm going to come back in. You know, years later, it's been like 2 years. They still message me, you know, ask me how the kid's doing.
Because we're so weird to them. We are gods. Okay. We are
wow.
Not from this planet. We are higher than the angels. Even the angels here, you know, in the BABLE, they say, why should we bow down? They're only man. No, we're not. We're more than that. So our bloodline is so beautiful and so strange to people here of Earth that they want to use this as science experiments. And I'm like, no more. You know,
my sister, she has visions, but different kinds of visions. She sees like future stuff. She has like different abilities than I do. And she said that she awoke the past 2 years. She was like, you know, getting in trouble, you know, worried about guys. And then I saw her one Thanksgiving, and she said after she saw me, it started with the number sequences. And, you know, I showed her the moon stuff. And then after that, she said her whole life changed after that. And, but she said that she had a vision and she was shown the Akashic records, and she didn't even know what it was. Somebody told her what it was. And then that's when we started researching it. I never heard the term before, but then she was told that we have an ancient bloodline, like dating back to like Egypt times. So, yeah, but the weird thing is, you know, my mom's side was Catholic. My dad raised me, and my grandparents helped. And my grandfather, he was special forces. And, you know, my dad was born on the base in Arizona.
wow.
He was born.
At, Davis Mountain Air Force Base?
No, the other one.
Pachuca?
Yes. That's where he was. That's where he was born at. And three of my great uncles were Mason, and one was a Shriner. And I honestly think that something bad was passed down to me. I feel like whatever they did tainted the bloodline a bit.
But not anymore, Miles, not anymore, because you're awakened, and you know you're here talking, and you know that you are going to do good. Okay, like what they call good here. You're not like them. You're not gonna do the sacrifice thing. You're not gonna give up a child like they want. You know, they seeded you pretty much into this secret space program. Your grandfather had a lot to do with it too, and he
tried to get me into
with your father too. That your father, maybe he doesn't have the memories right now, but you do.
Yeah, my grandfather, like I went to prison when I was 15, and it was they ran them like boot camps. It was what they were doing. It was
and you were
it was
protected
military
in there too, right? You were highly protected in there too because of your grandparents, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had to fight. I got picked on a little bit, and that, you know, you got to fight in there. If you don't fight, you get picked on the whole time. So I realized that pretty quick. Once I did that, I was fine in there. But it seems like I've been told that a lot of people said I should have done long prison stints. Like I should have gotten like 5-10 years for quite a few different things. And you know, people would accuse me of snitching, and which I had never done that in my life. But now looking back on it, some suspect that because of that connection, you know, they like kind of gave me like a slap on the wrist. Like most I did, you know, I was a year. I do a year here, a year there, but I never got more than that. But my grandfather, I went to boot camp. When I went to military boot camp, it was RDC, Regional Diagnostic Center, and you go there for 30 days. You have PT in the morning. Everything is exactly like the military. And my grandfather was proud of me. You go to RDC for 30 days, and then they determine your security level. And then that's when they determine what level you're going to go to, whether you're going to go to minimum security or you're going to go to level 4. So when I went there, I spoke with the counselor that was doing my evaluation. And she's like, you're not supposed to be here. And she put me in minimum security. They didn't even have a fence there. And it was out in the middle of nowhere in Virginia. And my grandfather, when I completed RDC, the 30 days, when I completed that, they had a graduation ceremony. He was proud of me. I'm in prison.
Yeah, he's
and he was
responsible for that.
yeah, he was proud of me for completing it. Like, and then when I got out, he wanted me to go straight from there to the military. He wanted me to go straight from the prison to the military.
Did you?
And while I went, and it took me a little bit of time. Like I got out, enjoyed myself a little bit, and then I ended up doing it. And then one of my best friends said that he was going to go with me. And so we both went with my grandfather to take our ASVAB test.
What branch? Oh, ASVAB. Okay.
Yeah, we went to take the ASVAB. You know, I had to pass. It's like it's like a GED.
I was in the Army, so I had to take that too.
Right. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. So I failed my ASVAB part. I failed the math part. So, but my friend passed, and he scored so high in it, they wanted to like put him over in China or Korea somewhere.
Right, because of the AI systems, the drones and all that. Yep.
This was like this was early 2000s, like maybe 05, 06, and maybe earlier than that, because I had my daughter, my oldest, I had in 2007, and this was before that. So but yeah, so I failed my ASVAB, and then I ended up the mother of my first child, I got her pregnant, and I didn't want to go in and miss the birth of my first child. So I didn't go back. You have to wait 6 to 9 months before you can go take the test again. And
it was a good thing.
Yeah. And by the time I went back, they said that they weren't taking any more GED people. They said that you had to have a degree, right? So I said to the guy, this was like, so I'm guessing this is like right around Obama, or maybe right before, like somewhere around there. And I think it was Obama. I want to say Obama in the beginning. And he goes, you know, you got to have a degree.
Like 2011.
I want to say that. Yeah, I want to say right around there. That, yeah, it might be right on the money, because I remember I ended up doing time. I got locked up right around 2011, maybe 09, 08, 09. I want to say somewhere around it. Anyway, I went back, and he tells me that you got to take like a college course now before they get. And so I said to him, I said, you know, that doesn't make any sense. I said, the people that got their GEDs, I said, those are the people from the streets. They got experience on fighting. You know, I said, you're going to have a college kid in there that doesn't know anything. And he goes, you're exactly right. He said, some of my best soldiers have their GED. He said, but I got to do what Uncle Sam tells me to. And I never went back after that.
Good, because you're not programmable. Let me tell you, it's like we're not going to let these effers program us anymore. But I wanted to say this, okay? There's wimps don't become top dogs. No species makes it to the top by being passive. The species in charge of any given planet will be highly intelligent, alert, aggressive, and ruthless when necessary.
Yeah.
Think about that. So
So,
Miles, what if we end it there and then we do another show? You want to do another show next week? I can do
yeah,
another next week. Yeah.
yeah, I got time. We could talk for days, man.
Yeah. I can't wait. It'll be fun. Let's schedule that then. I'll do it offline. But real quick, can you tell everyone how they can get a hold of you and your videos and where you are, things like that?
Yeah, go check me out at Miles Moon Bases. Or you can, I don't know if I should put my Facebook stuff up here or not. Yeah, you just go to Miles Moon Bases and comment on one of my videos, and I'll get back to you, and then I'll give you a link or a way to get in contact with me. So all you gotta do is just go to one of the videos, comment, I'll see the comment, and then I'll give you a link or a way to get a hold of me. But as soon as you read that, confirm it with me, and then I delete it so nobody else can see it.
Right. That's
So,
a good thing to do too. Thank you, Miles. And I love you, brother, and everything will work out. You know it does.
love you too. Yep.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.